Okay, now that we've covered installing Xamarin Studio on a Mac, let's go ahead and install it on a PC running Windows 10. This, for me, is actually a virtual machine running on my Mac currently, and I've just installed it so you can see how to do this. Now, when you install Xamarin on a PC, you have two options. Let me just enter this here. You have two options. One, you can run Xamarin inside Visual Studio, or two, you can run Xamarin's own studio program. In reality, neither one makes much difference. You have all the functionality in all of them, but a lot of people, myself included, prefer the Visual Studio IDE. I'm currently running 2015 of Visual Studio, and if you want to develop for Universal Windows platform, this is the version you need, because I believe that soon Xamarin will allow you to publish for Windows 10 as well. But if you're running the previous version of Visual Studio, 2013, it also works in there. So if you head on over to xamarin.com and you click the download link, again, you enter all of your details. I'm just going to put some rubbish in here for now. And just download Xamarin for Windows. And just like OS X, once you've downloaded this and you run the installer, it's fairly straightforward. So let's go ahead and run that. Just close my browser and Visual Studio in the background and click yes. Now I do cover this later on, just whilst we're waiting. But if you want to do Windows Phone, you will need to install Xamarin inside Visual Studio. Agree to all of Xamarin's terms and go ahead and install it. Now that it's installed, go ahead and open it. Open up that Xamarin Studio, and when you click Login over on the top right, you can create your account. And I cover this in the other video. You can also activate a Xamarin Business Trial Edition. I'm also going to close this, and then I am going to open up Visual Studio. And I'm just going to check that Xamarin has actually installed inside of this. Once it's open, head on over to Tools, and you'll see we have some Xamarin menu entries up here. Let's go to Xamarin Account and enter our account details. Once you've done that, you are pretty much set up to create iOS, Android and Windows Phone apps within Visual Studio and Xamarin Studio on a PC. There are some other setup steps. If you want to code for iOS within Visual Studio, you will need to connect to an active Mac on your network, but that's covered in a different lecture.